So, up in the top right hand side, in the blue trunks, going for a house first right now, it is gonna be Afterstar. Down in the bottom left, in the red, just went 2-0 in his previous series, it is gonna be Yummy Blah Blah. And Yummy actually looks like he's gonna go for a fast expand here, which is a little bit surprising. But it might work out. We've seen it have some level of success before, but let's see how it goes for him. And it is in a fairly open location, so I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure quite how well it's going to work, but this is Yummy, so he may well make this work. It's not a small map, but of course, we'll see how it goes. And of course, as much as I've been saying it is only points offered today, obviously it is slightly more important than that, because in about 2 weeks' time, on the final Sunday of the month, we will actually be running an invitational tournament. This is invite only. The only way you're getting into that is with my say so, and the way you qualify is through points. So if you get that, if you get enough points in your tournament, and you manage to secure those throughout the month, then you will actually get to go to the final invitational at the end of the month, which is pretty darn sweet. And of course that will be casted as well. So Afterstar probably won't get to punish this too much. Neither player actually has scouted. Ooh, Yummy is actually going to go for the Dragon Rush here. That's a little bit surprising. Wasn't quite expecting this, but obviously now as Afterstar's playing. Afterstar has not scouted at all. In fact, that okay, the worker I guess is just there on a hold position. But he's actually going to look a little bit silly because he's only going to be on one base economy, and not having any sort of archers here to really fend this off is going to make this very, very difficult. In fact, he's even queued up a second soldier, which a little bit of a strange choice, even if there's wolves coming out. But the thing is, Afterstar's just done this blind. He's just made an assumption about the build that Yummy's going for. Maybe they've just met on ladder, or I'm not sure, but it is not going to work out in his favor right now. And there will be another base, second base going down for Afterstar. There we go, about the 2:30-minute mark. So this build is super standard from Afterstar. The problem is this build is actually going to do really well against standard, because obviously, again, like if you watch me play, I'll get out those early archers, and they are there to sort of deflect any sort of early dragon aggression. But there's actually no, well, there is actually now starting back up one more soldier to go up to 3 soldiers here from Afterstar, and there's no archers. And this isn't even going to be wolves into dragons, this is going to be pure dragon rush. There we go, dragon nest actually even starting up now, and Afterstar I think is in a lot of trouble. He might be able to hold on. Archers are pretty good units, but I don't like this position. It is only going to be the one dragon's nest to start with. It isn't going to be the double dragon rush. So that will make it a little bit easier on Afterstar, and he will scout this in just a second. I'm honestly surprised Yummy didn't go for the second dragon nest. There we go, sees it now, knows what it's going to be. There's no reason you're going to go and port that early unless you're going to rush that out. And now it's up to Afterstar. He's got to make a decision, he's got to make one quickly so that he properly adapts and deals with what's coming his way. I'm really surprised actually that Yummy's dragon rushing and not putting down a second layer, but fair enough. Might work. It's going to be a lot harder to do though, without it. And alright, so Afterstar's actually going to throw down a forge behind this. I'm not sure about that. I mean, you can go for a forge against this build later if you've got enough. If you've got enough units actually to just take that. Okay, alright. So what it looks like it's gonna be is it's just gonna be a soldier drop. It looks like it was possibly gonna okay, it looks like a forge was a mistake and he's actually just gonna go for a super quick drop. But I think by the time the drop actually arrives and these soldiers get into the main base, the dragon's gonna be out. So it's a cute reaction, but I don't think it's a fast enough reaction. If he'd scouted this immediately, like if he'd sent out the sort of standard scouts, seen the sort of dragon rush, and then decided to drop, might have worked. But the dragon's going to be out here before the drop ship, and I think Afterstar's going to be in a lot of trouble here in game 1. Afterstar's actually only now started up any archers. So, yeah, he's not really in a position to stop this dragon at all. He's just hoping that this drop is going to do the damage he needs. And there's going to be a timer on it. The wolf's actually coming out now to scout out where this position is. The dragon's going to be out in a second here, and we'll start picking off these units. The dropship's only halfway done. And good luck trying to make a drop work when there's a dragon here, because a dragon is just going to pick it out of the sky. There we go, so dragon's going to start going to work. Second dragon's on the way, and there are actually some wolves to start backing this up. There's that dropship. Okay, the dropship's out in just a moment, but Afterstar is in a terrible position. His economy is actually going to be still a long way behind. There's still 4 workers down. He's slowing down a tower now to try and do something about this dragon, but you're going to need one in both bases or you're going to be pinned back all game long. There is a dropship now, so you should be able to save some of these units. The archers are coming in to try and pick up this dragon, but there's 2 now, so it should be okay. Looks like he's just going to pick off the 1 archer and then back out to regenerate, maybe? No, okay, he's actually going to bring in the wolves and pick it off that way. He's got to be careful. He cannot lose this dragon. He's taking a huge amount of damage on it, actually, but alright, well, he's just going to trade picking up as many archers as he can for that. But actually, Afterstar's going to just drop straight into the main base with 5 soldiers. And the dropship did get a buff recently, so it is a little bit harder to kill. It's actually got 175 health, but that doesn't let it live forever. Right now, Afterstar needs to find a target. He needs to decide very quickly what he wants to destroy, because this dropship is about to die, and looks like he's just going to pick a house up for his troubles. He might get the main base. If he can get the main base, it might be worth it, because Afterstar's going up to 3 base. And then they'll be even again. But right now, Afterstar's just being indecisive. He just can't choose, and I think that's going to kill him. His drop's been cleaned up, his dropship is nearly dead. Yeah, his dropship's going to back out now before it gets picked up. And right now, Afterstar's in a terrible position. He's down a base, he's losing his entire army. He's going to be able to pick off the... Or maybe... No, okay, he's not actually going to manage to pick up the tech lab here. He's got enough archers at home now to deflect this. But that quick dragon rush actually gave him... Oh wow, did that get a buff? Wow, okay. Yeah, it's given him enough sort of space to actually grab the 3rd. Wow, is that... I'm not quite sure the fortress needed the 1800 health, because it's pretty much impossible to kill anyway, but there you go. So the dropship's just going to limp home here. Afterstar needs to find a way back into this game. Right now, neither player has any upgrades, but and Afterstar's trying to go up to those. But right now, Yummy's actually already on the way. He's getting his +1 armor. It's not looking good for Afterstar. Yummy needs to mix in a few more wolves dens, I think. Just because obviously now having shown the dragons, there's going to be a lot of archers on the field. And he may get something done with just the dragons, but you do want a fair amount of meat in those wolves just to be able to clean up the archers beneath it. So, is that actually a fresh dropship? No. Fair enough. Oh no, maybe it was a repaired dropship. Can you repair them? I guess you can repair them now. I've been playing this patch as much as I can since it came out, and there's still little things I've just not noticed yet. So the forge is now going to start the upgrade, but +1 armor is going to kick in pretty soon for these dragons. The issue is there's a lot of archers in the main, so you might pick up some damage, a lot of archers in the natural. You might pick up some sort of kills in the main base, but there is a tower here to defend this. And right now he just doesn't have a very high dragon count. But it does look like he's actually going to go into this triple upgrade style once again, which worked out really well from last time. Oh, that's a cute move from Afterstar, actually, just to safely drop in those archers in underneath the dragon, and he might get it! Not quite. Okay, so that actually is a really cute move. That actually prevents the dragons from running away too much. The dropship's going to pick that up again, and Yummy is once again going to try and back out. The archer's now in underneath the dragon is forced to back away. No longer just being able to kite to his heart's content. But the thing is, Afterstar cannot lose that dropship. At least not while it's carrying all the units, because they will all just die. And it's actually going to pick them straight back up again. So, Afterstar, ooh, Yummy, that's not a fight you want to take in the front there. The dragon's going to try and put some damage down, but Afterstar's starting to get to a good composition. He's starting to be in a nice place, but he's fighting against triple upgrades, and there's even a... Where's the second dragon's nest? Somewhere? Oh, it's in right behind the other one. Alright, that's why I couldn't see it. So, Yummy is just sort of maxing out all of his tech, getting as much of an advantage as he possibly can. And he still managed to deny Afterstar from getting that third base, which is obviously really important. It's how Yummy's able to afford all this extra stuff. Thing is, Yummy just doesn't actually have that many units. Like, that is the big downfall of this build. You've got a nice upgrade lead, but there's just so few units actually out on the ground that Yummy can't really survive just a concerted push. And actually that might be what Afterstar's going for here. He has a lot of units. So back at home, Yummy's just securing his third base. There we go. Triple upgrades, and Afterstar has actually managed to secure his third. And these wolves are trying to get in around the back. The soldiers are just going to deny that. Not going to let that happen. I'm surprised Afterstar's not gone for another drop, actually. There are plenty of opportunities for you to do that on this map. Oh, lovely save there from Afterstar. With just that little bit of micro just to pick up the worker just before it dies. It doesn't get the second one, but one save is a nice start. The issue is obviously this base is once again slowed down just a little bit. Oh, Afterstar might lose a free soldier at the front there. And a lot of these soldiers are actually not in the front where they need to be. But Yummy's not going to capitalize on it, he's just going to keep backing off. Yummy right now is actually pretty much slow to a halt apart from these triple upgrades. Which obviously that's going to make a huge difference, but you kind of need some economy behind it, some actual units. Because if you see right now, Yummy's actually just not got anything. There we go, he's going to start 3 more walls, and he is starting up a barracks. So you may well be looking to take into mages, which I think is a really, really good choice. But right now he just cannot engage this army. After I was realizing that, and he's actually going to start just pushing across the map. I'm a little bit worried for Yummy. He's doing okay here. And he is managing to at least pull Afterstar back again. But he's just not got enough stuff. Let's see, how much stuff does he actually have? He has 4 dragons and 15 wolves. So it's a start, but in reality it's not a very big army. Oh, and he might actually lose another dragon here. Not quite. Alright. And Afterstar's actually just going to go straight away. He's actually going to engage a huge amount of these wolves here. And he might actually get a few of these killed. Not quite. Yeah, Yummy's actually being pulled back. He doesn't really have a solution to this army of Afterstar. He's just sort of relied on being able to force him back, hold him away, and sort of chip away at him. And he is producing a lot of wolves here, so he might be alright if he gets a good surround. Oh, but he does take a lot of archer shots in the very back there. And he's actually split the army of Yummy up really, really nicely. Again, Afterstar a little bit indecisive. Not sure if he wants to quite go into that tower. Let's see, he's going to go for it now though. The wolves coming in for the engagement. The archer's actually getting a great set of volleys in on these dragons. But there we go, the wolves now coming in from behind. They're going to pick up a few archers. They've not quite got as many kills as they want. This dropship actually doing really a good job of just burying the archers out of the surrounds that Yummy's been going for. And it looks like Afterstar will actually do it. It will actually hold this wave of units off. Which is pretty surprising considering how much armor those wolves had. But he is just going to go straight into the main now. Only 1 dragon actually having died so far in this game. And here we go. Yummy now coming in from behind. He should be able to pick up these archers. But the soldier's doing a huge amount of work. Yeah, I don't think there's enough archers here for Afterstar. The dragon's going absolutely ham. And the wolves getting a fantastic sort of concave here. Yeah, there's just not enough here for Afterstar. He has managed to secure these bases at home. But there's so much left over here for Yummy that I think the counter push is going to be completely devastating. There we go, last of the soldiers getting picked up now. And this airship is on its way home. And yeah, Afterstar says there's no chance against Wolf Dragon, and may or may not be true, but certainly not if it's being played by Yummy. Not at all. That's a very, very scary thing. So it's actually maxed out supply for Yummy here versus half supply for Afterstar. And he has actually repaired this dropship, but here we go, here come the last of the wolves. And there is actually fireball in along the way from behind this for Yummy, but I don't think it's going to be needed. The archers try and get in up against the forest wall here. There's so many wolves that this army is just going to get completely crushed. There we go. Cute little move there from Afterstar, actually, just to save the rest of his archers. But Yummy is going to take the game here. And then they will go into game 2 in just a moment. Okay. Players just discussing the match before they quit out. So, not a huge surprise for game 1. Yummy is fairly favoured for this tournament. Everyone expects him to do really, really well. Afterstar says GG, and Yummy will take it. Have a 2-minute break, and then we'll go straight into the next map. Alright. Alright. So we are here on King Sejong Station. Up in the top left hand side in the red trunks. We are going to have Yummy. Down in the bottom right, his opponent sitting in the blue. One game down, it is going to be Afterstar. And looks like Afterstar's going to be aggressive again, and Yummy is just going to go on past successes and is going to go on the fast expand once again. We might have a little bit of trouble, at least with that placement. It's quite an open placement, but we'll see how it works. Afterstar, what's he going to go for? He's going to go for the racks again. So that's a little bit slow. I'm not sure that it can really put much pressure on this, but let's see how it goes. We're going to see if Yummy might just go for the Dragon Rush again. It obviously worked out pretty well from last time. Or he might just choose to sort of just fast expand. Might then just go off on something else. I'm surprised he did it off on this positioning though. I mean, you can block here, so it's not too bad. But normally people will sort of block right in the main entrance here, and then put a worker or something there. The thing is, it's also not in a position to see the back rocks, so not a great positioning here. And it is actually going to be exactly the same build turn to Yummy Mama. So he is going to go for this Fort Rush again. This initial soldier is probably not going to do too much here from Afterstar. And unless there's sort of enough sort of archer firepower, Yummy could just be in a really good spot. Again, the other thing is, even if the dragons don't work out, Yummy just has such an economy lead from this unpunished sort of fast to expand that he's in a great position. I really like this build in the current meta, because obviously everyone like, you either tend to see Wolves Den and people just trying to poke around a little bit, or you see Barracks play, but anyone who goes Barracks play tends to stay at home. So Barracks play is your only real counter, and if they stay at home, then it doesn't matter, because they're not going to punish you. And Afterstar is not actually going to go for the scout. Maybe he did go for the scout? No, okay, he doesn't know. But he can work out that his opponent hasn't opened up Den or Racks, because obviously otherwise the unit would be over here trying to put a little bit of harassment down. So Afterstar possibly a little bit salty about the fast expand. He's gonna have a soldier over, but the fort should be able to defend this. But the Dragon Slayer has already started up. Afterstar's gonna have to start putting out some archers fairly soon if he does want to contest this. So, a little bit of passive spot. Afterstar can possibly harass a little bit, but he is going to go straight into his forward once again. That is being his go-to counter for this build. Let's see if he can get it to work this time. I think he possibly needs to just play a little bit more passively, play a little bit further back. Obviously that drop just did not work out in his favour last game, which put him quite a way behind. And there we go, the archers are starting up. And they should all be out in time to at least defend the first dragon. But King Sejong is a very difficult map to play against dragons on. They can be very irritating, simply just due to the nature of the bases and how quickly they can dip back and forth. So Yummy is going to once again grab a really quick third base just up here in the top right, and that is the nice thing. This build, weirdly enough, as much as it's a tech rush, because it forces so much defensiveness from your opponent, it actually, weirdly enough, allows you to just take another base straight off the back of it. And obviously you do need a lot of gold for dragons, but the ability just to grab a second base and then a quick third does put you in a fantastic economic position if you can hold it. The dragon actually from Yummy actually hasn't started up yet. He's still trying to get the house out to block. There we go, the dragon does start up now, and this house should get cancelled in a second. No, mate, okay, he is actually going to boost all the way out. He's going to try and hold that position. And Afterstar shouldn't be able to get anything done. There we go, he's going to back out now. And hopefully we'll go around and scout the third, because obviously Yummy did take a quick third last game, but We'll see. So yeah, Afterstar's set up fairly comfortably in his main base. He should be able to defend any sort of aggression of these dragons. There we go. Now it's just going to take out the house so we can actually get out of his base. So the first dragon pops out. It shouldn't do too much. It's going to go and see what it can do, but obviously now it's scouted. It's a little bit more difficult to get anything done with it. And there's going to be wolves dens to follow us up. So again, it's going to be that little bit of a mixed force. It's not a full committal to dragons. It's just the early pressure to allow him to get that third base. And Afterstar is going to try and force the tower out now. I'm not sure he necessarily needs that. I think he'd be absolutely fine with just trying to get the archers and defending with those, but this is a little extra defense that allows him to move out. So, yeah, especially with the tower now, that dragon's going to do nothing. And there we go, Afterstar now has the +1 attack. Obviously he's a base behind, but so much of Yumi's economy is caught up in that dragon's lair. So, in fact, sorry, I didn't even know Afterstar's actually also on 3 bases. So he's in a much better position than he was last game. And this dragon's trying to go for the kill, but he shouldn't get it. The archer should be able to defend this. He should actually be able to dip into the main base though, and that's going to be super annoying for Afterstar. Okay, the archers spread out. Sorry, the workers spread out. They're going to try and force out a tower in the main base as well. But he will probably lose the odd worker for his trouble. The odd archer is actually moving in position just to defend this, but the tower goes up. And now the dragon's harassment is limited pretty much only to the third base. Yumi really has not committed to this at all. He only got the 1 dragon, and now he's actually just going to be going into double upgrades and pretty much purely just pushing the wolves out now. So, an expensive opening for him here. Afterstar reacted a lot better. He managed to deflect it completely, and that does put Afterstar a little way ahead. So Afterstar should do a lot better than he did in the last game, with the third base with no drops, so should be in a good position. There we go, this is the second forge going down. I think maybe he needs another barracks first, but he's going to try and make it work. There's obviously not so much pressure on him in this game, just because the wolves aren't really present this time round. Yumi's going to look for that kill on the third base, and he might at least get 1, but these archers are actually pretty darn tough, at least with +1, and they are going to force this away. Yumi's actually going to have +1/+1 in just a minute here, and that's going to make it really quite difficult for Yumi. Yumi, there we go. So capping off his build once again, triple upgrades. So this is a very tech heavy build. The thing is, I'm sure someone will come up with a counter for it, but right now it's really quite a difficult build to deal with, just because of how like the aggression just keeps you pinned back, despite the fact that there aren't many units. If Afterstar is pushed out right now, he can probably kill Yumi, but the aggression obviously makes players very defensive, makes you want to hang back, doesn't let you sort of lose a lot of economy and stuff while you're not looking. Obviously, that defensive play is just going to allow Yumi to get all of that super greedy tech. And he's actually going to grab second dragon's layers now. And it's worked out pretty well for him so far, this build. It's actually really surprisingly effective. So it is actually, yeah, more and more wolves dens coming down here for Yumi. So it looks like he's finally just sort of gearing up his army. You can see actually he has so little on the map right now, just the 2 dragons and a couple of wolves beneath them. But he's doing such a good job of keeping these units pinned back. And now his economy is going to start really kicking into gear. The triple upgrades are on the way. The second dragon's nest on the way. And that sort of late game combination is almost already set up. It's going to be such pain to deal with. The only thing I think for Yummy possibly lacking from his build is he doesn't really have any mages. Which kind of... I mean, obviously it's a little bit of a branching away from your tech to grab mages, but they're so good against things like archers that it might be worth considering. But for now he is just going to stick with those basic units. But Afterstar is... he's actually going to look probably for the max out before he moves out. It's going to be 60 supply versus 75. Obviously the beast units are less supply efficient, that's why they tend to max out so much faster. And Afterstar actually with the double tower in the main, so that's in the natural, so that's going to make it a massive problem if you want to actually try and get through that. And in fact there's going to be double tower in the natural as well. So there's no way any harassment's going to be done. The only harassable opportunity is the third base. And the army is here to greet this. The just light harassment once again. Not quite going to commit to anything. So everyone's just playing a little bit passively at the moment. Not really getting too much done. Looking at 80 supply versus 65 though right now, so Yummy's in a pretty good position. He'll probably look to max out, grab those last few upgrades, and then move in. The thing is, he's actually an upgrade behind. I actually hadn't realised that. He will be grabbing 2 more upgrades in pretty short succession here, which will be another +2 armor going out to max out his armor completely. But he is going to be against 2/2 units. So these wolves are going to do a lot less damage, but the thing is, those archers are. Those archers are never ever going to kill wolves at this rate. Like, +5 armor basically will just render archers pretty much useless. So, actually the army from Yummy is not fully together, so he will take a lot of free extra damage there, and that is going to force him to back off for a second. And Afterstar is going to look for that 4th base, which he does kind of need for the economy. But Yummy's actually managed to lure around the left hand side. He's going to go around the right and see what sort of damage he can do. The dragon's actually not with this army, they're being a little bit indecisive here. And Afterstar might actually get a pretty good engagement here. The archers are all at the back, they're actually taking down dragons. He will lose the worker on this 5th base, which is nice for Yummy. But Yummy didn't really get anything done there. Both players now actually going for that tower upgrade. Just going to make it a little bit harder to actually harass them. I'm actually confused as to why Yummy is going for the tower upgrade. I wonder if that's a mistake. I'm assuming that's a mistake because he's not got any towers, so... There we go, the engagement comes in. The wolves do not have a good surround right now. The archers are all at the back where they can't be picked off. And Yummy, once again, is going to try and pick off a few of those soldiers as he retreats. But he's not going to get them. The archers are actually stepping forward here. The soldiers are trying to come in, and they do actually set up a nice wall. So most of those archers are actually in a fine position. The dragons, though, are getting a lot of free damage. The archers are not focusing those down. And it's so easy for Yummy right now just to max straight back out. He's back at 96 supply again. The thing is, without mages, he doesn't really have an answer to this army. Because dragons and wolves are good, but they're not efficient. When it comes down to this, you need something like mages who are a lot more efficient. And there we go, the mage guild will probably actually start up in a second hit there, the barracks did finish up. And once again, the engagement's going to come in, but there's not enough wolves on the ground. There's so many archers here that Yummy's actually just losing dragons. There we go, one more goes down. And this is the thing. The barracks units struggle in the beginning, but as soon as they get up to this sort of death ball stage, as a beast player, you need your AoE, you need your mages. Your upgrades only keep you alive for so long. The engagement's going to come in again. The wolves come in with a much better surround this time. They're actually going to pick up almost all of the soldiers in the front. But another 4 or 5 soldiers are actually going to come to reinforce this. And the archers are still in a fairly good position. Despite so many soldiers dying, Afterstar just hasn't really lost any archers. Neither player is really mining from their 4th base right now, but it's really just a setup from when the main mine's out, which is going to be in just a moment. The wolves are going to pick off another free soldier on the right hand side, but with so much armor and everything, it takes a little while for stuff to die. There we go, there's the Mages Guild starting up now over in the natural for Yummy. And that is the transition that he needs. You can see there's so many weak health mages here. It's about half mages, half soldiers. So fireballs into the middle of that are just game changing. Like, they make so much difference. Talking about making so much difference, you can see how much of a difference these tower upgrades make. Having that much armor on them is huge. And it does make them rather intimidating to actually try and take out. But right now, Yummy is just buying time. He's just harassing, just trying to be annoying, and he doesn't want to trade away too much of his army, but he's just trying to keep Afterstar on the defensive, which he's done a really good job at doing so. So that, obviously, he can get out to these mages. The towers actually have enough range here now to do a huge amount of work. Oh, not quite. Oh, they're almost picking up these wolves. But it's forced out more defences here from Afterstar, forced his entire army out of position as well. Yummy might actually pick up... No, he's not going to do enough damage here. The workers are here repairing. Oh, but Yummy's actually possibly going to get caught out here. He set up a tower in the middle of the map, just trying to secure some map control. But there's so few wolves under this. The soldiers are just going to rip through those, and Yummy has to back out right now. He wants mages to support this, but he's going to get caught mid-transition. And right now, Afterstar is pretty much maxed out. This maxed out push is going to be so dangerous for Yummy. Extraordinarily so. More towers are going down the middle of the map for Yummy. He's just trying to spend his money. But here we go. The wolves are going to come in, try and get a bit of a surround. But they mostly get met with soldiers there. The archers getting in underneath the dragons as well. The focus fire from Afterstar isn't great, but it's good enough. One more dragon goes down. There's so many soldiers on the ground right now that Yummy just can't engage. He just absolutely cannot engage. It's 5-3 soldiers versus, what, 5-5. So the upgrades are almost in the lead for Yummy, but the problem is the wolf upgrades are obviously not as good in terms of attack. So these wolves actually do a lot less damage. So they trade even worse with soldiers now you're maxing out on them. There's two mages coming now, and Fireball is on the way, but it's not going to be fast enough. The transition came too late. He allowed Afterstar to max out. And a maxed out barracks unit, that's pretty damn dangerous. I'm surprised I'm not seeing any mages out of Afterstar either. But he doesn't think he needs them. Oh, but the wolves getting in on top of the archers. He could actually lose a lot in the back here. The soldiers are all distracted trying to take out the towers. And these wolves actually have loads of surface area for them. But there we go, the soldiers actually collapse in. They're going to clean up all the wolves. The archers actually surviving for so long in the back here. That extra armor making a big difference. And Yummy's just basically got nothing left to his name. He might lose the rest of his units, but he does actually have a few mages here, which could really help out. I'm surprised they're not being brought in to fight. But Afterstar's now staking claim to the middle of the map. This base on the top is probably going to go down. Well, Afterstar actually pulling soldiers to defend, which I think they'd actually do a better good job if they actually just took out bases, but they're trying to defend the archers at the back. And a lot of this army has been cleaned up from Afterstar, and there isn't a huge amount of macro behind this to back this up. But I think the repush when the rest of the archers join these soldiers is going to make this a nightmare. So, poor Yummy. If we look, he's on 4 bases versus 5. Another dragon's going to fall. The wolves come in, but once again they're met by soldiers. More archers coming in to back this up. And they're going to be able to pick off the dragons. There we go. It is 5-5 versus 5-5. The mages are done though. So there we go. 2 full energy mages are on their way. And I could turn the tide of this battle. One good engagement could allow Yummy to at least pick off a base and put himself in a good position. But where are the mages? They're still actually not here. They're in the back. There's 5 archers at a time right now for Afterstar. It's getting pretty dicey. These have got to be the best fireballs you have ever seen, I think, to really do this. And if the archer focus fire comes in, there aren't wolves here to pad this out right now. Fireballs land, but they mostly just hit soldiers. That is not the fireballs that Yummy needed. Not at all. And right now there's actually a soldier trying to pick it off who shouldn't get the mage. Oh, he actually gets the mage with the only energy left. One more dragon goes down on the top hand side. The archer's doing so much work here. The worker's actually being pulled to try and at least help deal with this. There's a mage actually hiding in beneath them. Pretty good fireball. Damages a bunch of this, but not quite enough. More wolves being picked off. They're not actually just enough right now. And another huge stack of archers is coming in to back this up. I'm pretty sure this is the beginning of the end here for Yummy right now. He's got another fireball queued up. But as long as Afterstar's splits are okay, he should be fine. Dragons once again just trying to defend this, but they're not doing enough. The archer's actually just going to tear through this right now. There we go, so many workers going down already. If we look, there's actually about 10 workers just picked up immediately. The fireball whiffs once again. It's only landing on the back of these units. You need to get those mages in close to properly get them doing anything, but there isn't anything really to allow them to get that close. Wolves are coming in, but there's not enough of them. They're just being kited back and getting absolutely torn to pieces. The mages coming in once again. It's looking for a good fireball opportunity. Oh, but an excellent split by Afterstar. Completely predicts it. Afterstar's actually going to step forward. He's going to pick off yet more of these mages. And in fact, picked off a second mage there. This is so expensive for Yummy. He can't afford to lose these. But he's got nothing else to defend with. He's got absolutely nothing else to defend with. He's going to lose a base up in the top here. I think Afterstar's actually pretty much maxed on tech. He's not got mages to back this up, but he's just going to keep working with these archers, and it's done well for him so far. There we go. Yummy loses his his 3rd base. Not sure. Oh, there we go. Afterstar finds his 5th and actually picks up a whole bunch more workers there. So there's another 4 workers lost on that base. And these soldiers will get picked off, so that's kind of nice for Yummy, and he will be able to continue mining from this 4th base. But he just doesn't have an answer to the archers right now. He's got the mages, but they've just whiffed every single shot so far. There we go. Yummy groups his whole army. Sorry, Afterstar groups his whole army together once again. Yeah, there we go. The work gets picked off that's building the tower. The soldiers get into the front. And Yummy's doing a good job of just trying to hold on. But at the moment, it's just sort of a worse and worse battle. The mage is actually coming in towards the front. And Afterstar does set up the split. He will actually pick off the full energy mage, so that's really nice for Afterstar. The fireball goes down, and it does a fair amount of damage. That's actually a pretty good fireball. But there's so much here for Afterstar that that one fireball was not enough. There's no more mages in here to back this up. Wolves are not going to do anything. That dragon's actually going to get picked off if it doesn't back up. There we go. Yummy says GG, and Afterstar is going to take game 2. We will be going to the ace match here. Alright, so 2 minutes and then we'll go into the ace match for you. Alright, so that's 1 apiece so far. Right, we're all just in the lobby. We'll be playing in just a second. Right, so it looks like Afterstar wants just a moment to get ready. Oh, well, you guys missed all of the beautiful, beautiful commentary. So I'm very sorry for that. That happens occasionally. Just want to get the switcher back on after the break. And it is actually going to be the double dragon rush here from Yummy. So securing his opponent's fate, really. It's going to be very, very hard. Afterstar is going to go for the dragons in return, but they're going to be so delayed. If he ends up a full cycle delayed, which I think he will do, then that's pretty much GG. You cannot be 2 dragons down. 2 dragons down, even. The other thing is, obviously, Yummy's economy right now is that little bit better. And it will get steadily better for a little while now until the fort finishes up. Afterstar's going to play it out, but I think this is just one of those build order things where if you can make it work. The thing is, weirdly enough, for a time, this didn't work. This build used to be really popular, like this Dragon Rush, because everyone just went dragons, and then it fell out of favour, because of people with backs could just hold it. And backs became popular, but with the reintroduction of wolves as a very sort of popular meta, it becomes very, very difficult to sort of properly defend against this again. And the wolves are going to see how much damage they can get done in the main base. Doesn't look like too much. Workers are pretty damn strong. Possibly in need of a nerf in more than a few players' opinion, but the wolves are going to try and get some work done, but right now, not really getting anything done. The first dragon's already on the way. Afterstar actually is not producing anything at home. Okay, now we go. There we go. There's the 2 dragons there as soon as that fort completes. And yeah, this is not a good position for Afterstar at all. He's almost a dead man walking. We'll see if he can make a comeback though. It is doable. But if he doesn't make it through here, he will be knocked down into the bronze match, where he will have to face the loser of Shadow and Curious. And he'll claim himself a few points this week. Possibly that nice bronze badge, but not the points he was looking for. He was definitely looking to make a name for himself, get up into his high ranks. But the dragon's out here now. This is going to clean up the last little wolves. Afterstar does get a worker kill. So that's nice. I'll bring him up to a total of 2, but yeah, now these wolves are basically just dead. They're not going to get anything done. But in the background, this has given Afterstar time to get up his 2 dragon players. So we'll be able to get some defense up. But I don't think it's going to be enough defense. There's already going to be 2 dragons out on the map by the time this first cycle from Afterstar completes. So really nice actually just from Gummy here, just playing on the meta. The fact that everyone's just been going into these wolf styles, that Barracks is less popular at the moment. And this build is pretty much as close, obviously it's not a perfect counter, but it's as close a counter as you can get right now to wolf openings. Which is a really nice punish. Obviously we've seen some people try and 2-den as a punish, but with a choke point that's a little bit harder to sort of do. So the dragons are going to come in now. They're going to start harassing Afterstar's lines. There is 2 dragons out here for Afterstar. So Yummy needs to be a little bit careful. If he takes the first shot, which he will do. There we go. So he's in a little bit of trouble. The focus fire needs to be really good, because Afterstar could just take the game back here if he's lucky. Yummy's just trying to actually micro on top of his opponent's dragons. The trick with that is if you can get your opponent to attack his own dragons, just by overlaying them, then obviously that's a huge advantage for you. It's basically 2 hits for free. And there we go, there's the problem, because that Dragon Rush build just gets the dragons out a little bit faster, and Afterstar's just being forced to back off. He's just going to continue to lose workers here in his worker line. He's actually done good job. He's not lost any so far. But he will lose the first one now. There we go, down it goes. And Afterstar's going to try and take this fight again. Yummy needs to be careful not to let those dragons strike. There's actually 3 dragons out now here for Afterstar. So Yummy actually really needs to bring the rest of his dragons out to support this. So for the moment he's going to have to back off. But oh, but that's pretty brutal there for Afterstar. He actually has his dragons stacked up, so he took about 3 shots instead of the normal one. But once again, Afterstar actually in a fairly good position. Yummy's being forced to back up again because of the fact that he's taking more damage here. I'm not quite sure how he's managed to achieve that, but maybe just with Yummy trying to micro around me fancy, but clearly not worked out for him just yet. 2 more dragons popping out now for Afterstar, for Yummy. So there will be an opening here for him where he's going to have the 1 dragon lead. In fact, he only has dragon's lead now, so as soon as this next dragon pops out, they will be even again. Yummy's flying forward with only 2 dragons. That's a huge mistake! No, Yummy! Oh, taking a lot of damage there, and obviously dragons regenerate, but not fast enough for this to really work. He did manage to lure out the forces here for Afterstar though, so he's going to try and go in with it now. Now he's got 4 dragons. This is a close fight. I think it's in Afterstar's favour, but it's really hard to tell. That's definitely going to put it in Afterstar's favour with the stack of dragons there. Afterstar turning this around. And Yummy's still got the worker lead, but with 4-4, and one of those dragons of Yummy is already pretty much dead. Afterstar's going to back off for now, but he's in such a good spot. The testing now goes down for Yummy, but I think Afterstar could actually be the one to advance here. Which would be surprising, but pretty cool to see. So if we just bring up the numbers here, it is 6 against 5 though. But obviously one of these is pretty badly damaged, so the numbers are still pretty much enough. So he's got to be careful though, his dragons are really stacked up. He cannot let them hit lands while they're all stacked up like that, and he does. That's a lot of free damage there for Yummy. Yummy's trying to separate out his dragons already. Afterstar focus fires down the one in the back. The focus fire from Yummy is not very good, and he doesn't manage to pick up that low health one. It is going to be 5 versus 5. Yummy's trying to micro back as well, but he's going to lose that. A lot of these dragons are actually on the way across the map, so now it's 3 against 5. Yummy with a not great engagement. It started off so well, but he is possibly behind now. But this is the seesaw nature of dragons. Every time another one pops out, it swings it back and forth until someone can just push sort of swinging point in their favour. But it is a very close matchup. And we'll see how it goes. So a couple of free hits here from Afterstar as Yummy just tries to spread out. Afterstar takes a bunch of stacked shots on the right hand side. And there we go, does lose a dragon quickly there. Yummy does lose another one on the left hand side as the focus fire comes in. Afterstar's going to lose one on the middle as that gets picked off. This is pretty close. Right now, Yummy will actually lose another one on the left hand side here, but it looks like he's actually going to trade. The focus fire from Afterstar is not quite good enough. Afterstar will force Yummy to back off once again. And that's just faster reinforcement time. It's just that little bit he needs to sort of properly defend this. And it's so close right now. So close. Yummy keeps taking really good engagements, and then the reinforcements just pull it back for Afterstar. Here we go. Oh, but Afterstar once again is going to take another bunch of stack shots. He's really not been doing well on avoiding these. He manages to pull back the low health dragon, and the focus fire from Yummy is not great. Yummy takes the opportunity just to dip in and try and do a little bit more worker damage. Which obviously, if you can secure a few of those, that will be the way you get into this game. And Afterstar is actually having to invest into, obviously, just replacing those. And there we go, he is on max saturation now. Yummy's got to be careful! Oh, it's so close, it's so very close. Yummy's actually not getting that upgrade right now. I think he's almost forgotten that he got the testing lab. And obviously that armor does make quite a big difference. Engagement's gonna shuffle in once more, but neither player really committing just yet. Oh, after so many stacked units, you might be in trouble here. The focus fire is actually fairly decent, but it's so hard to properly target the right unit when all these dragons are overlaid like this. It makes it very difficult indeed. More dragons though falling for Afterstar than for Yummy. Yummy with the superior micro here, pulling back his weak dragons, getting the focus fire in. Afterstar says GG, and Yummy is gonna take the victory. So we will see Yummy in the grand finals here. Alright, so there will be a brief break while we just wait for whoever's going to be in the bronze match. We're back in a second.